if you ever get to go to Silver Dollar City at Christmas, one of the must-dos is to go see their production of Dickens' A Christmas Carol. A few years ago, it went through some changes, though, and a lot of people still struggle with those. So why did they change it? What changed? And what other changes have been made and could be made? So we're talking Dickens' Christmas Carol at Silver Dollar City. Yes, the season's ending, but is what it is. This show has run for a long time. It has always been kind of the big hit there. It's something, if you go, you've got to get in line early or you won't get in.
Show lovers.
Yes. Yeah, show lovers passes.
I always get the show lovers. Hi, I'm Brendan, by the way.
Yeah, so this is Brendan joining us.
Still Brendan.
In case you didn't see the other video yet.
And if you didn't see the other video, go watch it. We talk Muppets.
Yeah.
And you may hear some yipping and barking in the background. That is the dogs watching us because they're very excited that there's company over.
It's our live studio audience.
Yes. But Dickens changed, and there's still people that are wondering why it changed. I actually saw comments online today. It's like, why didn't they do the old music? I saw it for the first time, and it was all different. I'm like, okay, y'all aren't keeping up because it's been like 3 years now.
What year did they start doing it?
2021, I think it was.
Really?
No, with the new songs. The show itself is like 20 years.
Oh,
yeah, like what?
The show itself. They make a joke in the saloon show that like it started in the saloon, and they reference '01. So I'm assuming 2001 was the year it debuted.
Yeah, that would be about right.
Okay, cool.
Because I know when I was working there, I started 2012, and it had been going for several years before that. Mm-hmm. So
cool. So
it's been there for quite a while.
Yeah.
There's still a couple of the original cast members in there. Most of the cast now has changed, as happens, because people move on. Mm-hmm. But the songs have definitely changed. The original show had several songs that were basically songs from other shows or movies and stuff that they then parodied a little bit. And so a lot of people like those because they knew the songs. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those have, they ran into copyright issues, as I understand. This is off the record. So this is just kind of what I've inferred. But copyrights came due, and I don't know if it was the copyright fees went up, or they decided they just didn't want to pay them, or what the deal was. But anyways, copyrights kicked in and forced them to change the music. That's the root core of why the songs have changed.
Makes sense.
But they're still, so they've got their own custom songs in it now. And we were talking briefly. There's songs that I like that other people don't. There's songs that other people don't like that, or vice versa. And, so it's interesting seeing what people like and what they don't, and what they think works and what, doesn't work. So
I will mention too, I think the objective with the new songs was to be as close to the previous ones as they could without having copyright issues.
There's definitely a couple songs that you're like, yeah, you definitely wrote this with that original song in mind.
The first one that comes to mind is the line in He's a Mean One. They don't sing He's a Mean One, but they do the line.
Yeah, so the opening number, when they introduced Scrooge, they would do a variation of the Grinch song. He's a mean one, Mr. Scrooge. And I loved it. It was a fun song. But the other song they had around the intro, I don't even remember what it was.
It was Sing a Song of Gladness and Cheer. It was the intro from that, I think it was from 1970. It's the same one that Thank You Very Much.
Scrooge.
So I will mention, too, that I did find a webpage that references where all the original songs came from, and the vast majority of it came from two different Christmas carols that were out there. One was that, I think it was from 1970.
It was what, Scrooged the musical or something like that?
Scrooge, I think. Scrooged is the 1980s film.
Oh, yeah, that's the Bill Murray. Yeah.
But that's where the inspiration for the Ghost of Christmas Present comes from in that show. But the other one is, I forget what it's called specifically. It's like A Christmas Carol, a musical. Mm-hmm. And all the songs from that one were composed by Alan Menken, and the lyrics were, I think, by Lynn Ahrens, who did a lot of Schoolhouse Rock. So that's why. So I looked at those and I was like, no wonder those songs were so good.
Yeah, Schoolhouse Rock gets stuck in your head. But so they've changed those out. So Thank you. He's a mean one. Mr. Scrooge is now another song that it works pretty decently, I think.
It's good.
So
I want to clarify real quick. I haven't seen nearly as many versions of the show as they have, so I'm kind of just chiming in where I can based on what I know. But they're like pros.
Kind of how I was
at
on
this.
Muppets. So hey,
Exactly.
but
Give and take.
But yeah, I would say the new intro song, "Ring the Bells," it's kind of a meh song in my opinion. Now the production value definitely brings it up a lot, and I can still sing along to it in the show quietly, so I don't bother anyone else. But in fact, I did notice that I was singing along as I had a show lovers, and I was in the front row yesterday, and one of the cast members saw me and was like, "Oh, that's cool. He knows our stuff."
yeah, people are finally catching on to the song.
But yeah, it's good. They do it. I don't want to. Let me preface by saying I don't want to knock the cast or crew involved in the show because they all do a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think some of them may watch this channel from what I've seen in the past. But
Hi.
So I will say the cast and crew on this one, I've told people for years, the Dickens production outdoes anything you'd see Disney. It's one of the, you could sell tickets to this show just on its own, forget the whole park, and make money. It is that good. It is an amazing production. Even with the changes in music and so forth. There's some ways there's a couple songs I think they do better. There's a couple that aren't as much, but that's not on the cast and crew. That's on...
Yes, they all do phenomenal.
That's on the park.
They say Broadway quality on the sign outside, and they are not exaggerating. They're so awesome.
So the other song, though, the song that for me is the most noticeable change is "Thank You Very Much," and you can still hear the cue for the song.
That's at the beginning of Christmas Future, by the way.
Yep. And then at the end of the show, there's a callback to it that doesn't work anymore because they don't have the song.
Oh, I don't think I know.
They do reference the line. He does say the line, "That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me." He doesn't sing it anymore.
But it doesn't...
And they do, and he and Scrooge have a little fun with the little new line, "Much obliged, thank you, cheers." And then he and Scrooge at the same time say, "Jolly good show," which is a line from the new song that they use.
So if you haven't seen it, the song, again, is from the musical movie, where the town is celebrating Scrooge's death. And they're saying, "Thank you very much. It's the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me."
That he died.
That he died and all their debts are erased. So they're celebrating his death.
He does not realize that at first.
Yeah, and it's a scene that the Ghost of Christmas Future shows him. And so it's a fun, lively song, and then you realize the irony of the song because Scrooge is sitting there dancing and singing along.
I don't think he ever sees that during the song. He doesn't ever realize that they've got him in a coffin. In the movie, I mean.
Oh yes, in the movie.
In the Dickens musical at Silver Dollar City, they do. And I will say this, having watched the new video, I've videoed that song and I've watched it a lot, and then gone back and watched the older one. One of the things that I'll say is that they rush some of the scenes now that took a little more time, like Scrooge realizing he's in the coffin. And then there's a part where one of the performers bangs on the coffin like a drum, and
he's like,
the current Scrooge actually gets rattled like he's hearing it in the coffin.
And he's like, wait.
But it goes by very quickly now, whereas it used to take a little bit more time
to develop.
Because you had to point that out to me, and once I noticed it, now I watch for it every single time because it's such a fun little detail.
And there's a lot of little details like that.
But it does go by so fast for that same reason.
But at the end, when Scrooge is dropping the money, and then he tells the one guy, "Hey, your debts are erased," and he calls back to the song, and he says, "Well, thank you very much. That's the nicest thing." It's a throwback to the song.
He actually does sing the line he did sing the line in the original,
but now the song isn't there,
so
it's just kind of this awkward. Especially if you've seen the original version, you're like.
Speaking of the coin scene, there was a kind of funny thing that happened when I saw the show yesterday. So when Scrooge is tossing the sovereigns down, Tom Jenkins, he misses the coin or he drops it or something, and Scrooge says, "You probably have never held one before."
Yeah. I watched one show where they were goofing off and Scrooge dropped it on his head.
What do you say to that?
Instead of just dropping it, he went...
Was this years ago or was
It
this
was a while back.
Okay.
I think it was David.
Okay.
I feel like as the season goes on too, they just continue to have more and more fun with it. Like when he's doing keep the
change.
Yeah, his voice is all cracking and he's like
it's something when you
can't
do a
it.
show
It's so fun.
a ton. Yes, you find little ways to
I can see that happening. It's so fun to see that happening because I've also been not in that position, but in that position in theater before, just to have more fun with it.
So those are the songs I miss. The one song that I love the song, but I don't mind seeing this whole thing disappear too much, was the old Snow Globe, where they would have the kids, little Scrooge and his older sister visiting him, and she would sing the song from Polar Express.
I never saw that version.
So, and
it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. So
it was cute, but I don't miss it. That one's like
it was a nice scene, but yeah, it really didn't fit in too much with the story. It was kind of like a tangent.
Yeah, people would be like, "Oh, Polar Express. Now we're back to Christmas Carol." Is what I would probably feel like. I don't know.
Well, like I said, so you had this snow globe like thing that they would sit in, and
there's the part too where it starts out. Christmas Past starts out with Christmas Past giving him the snow globe that his sister gave him, and what they used to do was he would tell Scrooge, "Look in the snow globe," and so Scrooge would see the scene that plays out, and then they put it in the giant snow globe so we can see it.
Yes, and basically Scrooge is sitting at boarding school by himself as a kid, and sister comes to boarding school to visit him, gives him the snow globe, explains, "Sorry, you don't get to come home for Christmas because Dad said no."
Oh, ouch!
But then she sings this beautiful song
from the Polar Express.
From the Polar Express. So I mean, it was a nice scene, but at the same time, it kind of steered off into directions that were like, so I don't mind that.
I see the vision. I think I prefer the current version.
It's a nice scene, but there was really no reason to do that for that long. There's other things you could do with that few minutes.
Yep.
It might have been due to like quick changes and stuff, too.
Yeah.
Taking up time.
So they added in other time spots and stuff in other scenes.
Christmas present dialogue. The initial Christmas present dialogue draws out a lot longer. I noticed yesterday. Yes. So
yeah. So that doesn't bother me. So you said that there were a couple songs, the new version, that you like better.
So the intro song, the very beginning, the Sing a Song of Gladness and Cheer, I liked that one a lot better. And it's not just the song itself, but I think whoever arranged the newer one had a harder time kind of with the music. Like, the best way I know to describe it is especially like transitions between parts feel a lot more rough, and even the ending feels a lot more abrupt.
Gotcha.
So, but even the part like where the scrim curtain first opens up, that part right there ended a lot better because it ended like kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not a big music theory genius, but it was like the song crescendo. Like it was like you could have ended the song right there, but you couldn't have done that with the way that you can't do that with the version of the song that they have now.
Yeah,
you'd have to watch the videos to understand what I'm talking about, probably.
No.
But the other one, I do think they got Christmas Past. That one has improved overall, not only because of the time change, but they originally didn't have Scrooge and Belle in Christmas Past, which I think that's kind of, in my opinion, one of the key reasons that kind of helps start fueling Scrooge's desire to change, and that wasn't in the show originally. That's in there now.
I like that development.
Although I will say it is probably a little bit rushed, but at least it's in there. But the other thing that I like better now is the song that Scrooge sings at the end of Christmas Past. Originally, he would sing Somewhere in My Memory from Home Alone, which didn't work really well in my opinion because like the last line of the song says, "All of my family home here with me," and we had the snow globe scene where he was stuck at boarding school all by himself.
Yeah.
So they at least have a song now where Scrooge is talking about, well, that's back when I felt happy and now I've lost it, and it feels a lot more relevant to him now. So
I don't remember if I've seen the version where he sang Somewhere in My Memory, because we all talk about it so much. I don't remember which version I've seen, but I feel like I've seen that version and then without it. But I don't remember. How long ago did they sing
So
Somewhere in My Memory?
that was one of the when they changed all the songs.
So 2019 would have been the last year that they did the show with that version. 2020 was during the COVID year. They didn't do any shows at all.
I was just going off video then. I don't remember which version I've seen sometimes.
Yeah, because basically it's two versions. It's the pre-COVID and then the after-COVID.
True.
So,
I liked the other ones I like. Christmas Present is probably my favorite part, especially the God Bless Us Everyone part.
Mm-hmm. I do like that.
The original songs were better. Now there was also another song that was cut from this part, and it actually was, I learned, a Silver Dollar City exclusive. It was the God Made Me Special.
Mm-hmm. Aww.
It was a song that Tiny Tim sang. It's a great song. Now, I will say, with the show in its current format, there's not a lot of reason to dwell on Tiny Tim for too long, and I'll get into that a little bit more as we go later on.
Tiny Tim does not get very much focus in the new show.
No.
Well, and he didn't get even in the old show, he didn't get as much as he should have. I'll get into that a little bit later on. But I
don't know, we're on it. Go for it.
Well, I was going to say, this is kind of what I was going to say. Are there any changes that you would want to make besides reverting to old ones? And my thing is, they need to cover the Tiny Tim art, because in Christmas Future, they don't do Tiny Tim's death. And in my opinion, that always felt like that's one of the really key things that leads Scrooge to change. And it's not in the show. And it's so funny because even now, even though Tiny Tim doesn't have quite as much coverage in the current show, they're still like, Bob, I don't know what we're going to do. We don't have the money to take care of Tiny. What are we going to do? And then that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's one thing that with the changes they made, they forgot Tiny Tim, and I'm kind of like...
But, I mean, my thing was, even when they didn't have his death, even back then, there was really... I don't think there's as much reason to dwell on him with the song. So, if you're going to bring that back, you really need to bring his... You really need to work his death into the...
Yeah, I would like to see that redeveloped again. The other thing that has kind of disappeared the last couple of years that I'd like to see back is the flying.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So Jacob Marley would fly in on a harness up above the stage, and actually, if you're in the front row, he'll be directly above you.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that version with the flyer and without the flyer.
And then Christmas Present.
Christmas Present flies in with the harness, and I love this time of year. I love it. Yeah.
And now she slides.
She comes in on a slide, and then
it doesn't work.
And Jacob Marley's now video. So
yeah,
we talked about the show being live Broadway quality. That's about the one place where it goes from Broadway to theme park. So
yeah, like I think they do the best they can with
it looks cool,
the
honestly.
Speakers, like trying to focus people where he's projecting. But I think because we're such big fans of the show, we already know where to look to. I wonder how many people don't know where to look.
They do a good job with the digital effect.
Yeah.
I can see the argument of how it takes away from the live theater aspect of it, but that's actually an effect I don't mind too much.
That I wonder. I would love to know the full reasons why. Mm-hmm. If it's insurance that pulled it, or safety, or they didn't have the trainer, or because you said you'd had a discussion.
Caitlin Nelson, the current actress who plays the Ghost of Christmas Present, I'd had a chance to talk with her very briefly last year, and she didn't really go too much into reasons why it was dropped, but she thought it would come back the following year, which is now this year, and obviously it didn't. So,
but to do it, you've got to have, and this is me kind of just gleaning stuff, trained riggers who can connect them properly and make sure that they are connected safely, because you don't want an accident. But I do wonder if insurance may have pulled something on that too, and just said, no, we don't want to risk somebody.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We might not.
The one thing I can say is the company that runs Silver Dollar City has grown. Their insurance adjusters and stuff have gotten a much larger say in what happens. It's actually restricted a couple things that I wanted to do. But,
gotcha.
Ran into other areas like that. We're like, nope, insurance won't let that.
So I thought I would back up real quick to the Christmas present entrance on her slide now. When I did see it on Saturday, I noticed that I felt like they had kind of tightened up the entrance a lot better. Like, it was kind of obvious when we had seen it before.
We saw it earlier in the year, and the crew member was up on stage.
Yeah, like,
you could actually see him. I think they had a curtain in front of the in front of where he was now, or something like that.
I think so. And like, go crew members, do your thing.
Yeah.
But I noticed, and I was sitting pretty much in the center. I was in the 5th row back, like the first row that's not show lovers, like in the center, and I didn't see a single person. So good job.
Yeah.
All things considered.
Yes, that was one thing that sometimes you get somebody out of position or a screen out of position, and
I've been there, so I get that. But it looked crisp, very nice.
What other changes?
That was my big thing. Maybe put Tiny Tim's death in the show.
Yep.
Maybe you could find a way to bring another version of the song back, but maybe find a way to expand on Belle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the big things for me.
Is Belle the sister's name?
Belle is Belle is Scrooge's fiance.
Yeah,
She breaks up
and
then she breaks up with him during.
Yeah, that seems a little.
Yeah,
quick.
no, not Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
In some stories, some versions of the story, she's known as Isabel.
Gotcha. Cool. With all these changes, has there been like a big chunk of time shaved off the run, or no?
I mean, so there's 2 songs that were cut. I know that Scrooge's song, I'm pretty sure it's longer now.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said earlier, there's dialogue that they draw out a lot more, especially Christmas Present. I noticed there's a lot more pauses, or she just draws it out. Like, then, for instance, the line, "These wands aren't what they're quacked up to be," wasn't in the previous version of the show.
It's still about the same length.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to remember. Is it 60 minutes?
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's right about the same length that it was.
Gotcha.
So.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's still a must-see. Absolute
Definitely.
must-see.
Oh, yes. I always buy, every time I go to Silver Dollar City at Christmas, I make sure to get a show lovers for that show.
It is the highlight of the Christmas festival, aside from the lights themselves, to me.
Well, I still tell people Silver Dollar City does Christmas better than Disney does.
Yeah.
Everybody holds Disney's standard up there. Silver Dollar City's better.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been to Disney at Christmas, so I can't comment, but I love Silver Dollar City at Christmas.
Yeah.
More lights, better shows, more shows, music.
Really good food.
Oh, yeah, the food at Christmas. I mean, the walking tacos I always get. The wassail. I love wassail. Oh, my goodness. If you've never had wassail before.
I got wassail 2 years ago, and it wasn't for me. And then this year, I didn't get the wassail, but they had like a holiday punch that I couldn't try. But I think I needed, because they posted the wassail recipe to their reels, and it was completely different from the wassail that I tried and I didn't like. So now I think if I can get back there, I should try it.
And so I'm not a hot drink person. I don't like hot drinks. Love the wassail.
Good. No, the recipe they posted sounds totally different and exponentially better than the other. I wonder if they had to have like a different provider or something
possible.
At that point, because this one's not even red. The one I tried was red.
Oh.
Tasted like cough syrup.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it just was not good that year, but not this year.
See, for me, it's always like a hot fruit tea, but cough syrup.
The recipe they posted has like pineapple and apple cider and everything else good, and it's not red at all.
The dog's whining because she can't have wassail.
Yeah, because this one sounds so good.
Yeah.
She's disappointed with the changes to Dickens, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
She has opinions.
I wish I could show you a picture of the expression on her face right now. She's just sitting there like...
She's like, this is torture.
We've got a little fence up there and she can't get over it. She's just very sad.
So misunderstood. Nobody gets me.
Closing comments.
Love Christmas Carol. I look forward to it every single year, and it's fun talking through all the different versions of it, because I've only been going to Silver Dollar City in the grand scheme of things a short time. My first visit was 2018, and
same here.
Yeah. I don't know if you've been. I think you've probably still been more than me at this point. I don't know, but I always look forward to a Christmas Carol, and discussing all these changes has been really fun.
Oh yeah, and if I can get back out to the park today, I have another show lover for tonight, so I'll go see it again. So
there you go.
Ooh. I have to think about this. So, anyways, let us know what you think about the changes. What do you like? What do you not like? What do you wish they do again? What do you wish they do different? Well, share it in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. God bless.
Merry Christmas.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your ideas. Be sure to share them in the comments below, or you can contact me. There's information in the description that has my email address, fan pages, information about merchandise, and so much more. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, hit the button right up there to subscribe. And in fact, if you did enjoy this, I've even got another video for you right here. And also about these wonderful people here, those are my YouTube members and my patrons, the ones whose financial support makes this possible. I couldn't do it without them. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, well, be sure to check the description. There's a link right down there. Thank you so incredibly much. God bless.